Welcome to Spurs Focus, your go-to spot for daily Tottenham news, transfers, and match updates. Don't forget to support the channel by hitting that subscribe button now. Let's dive into today's top story. Thomas Frank has got Tottenham flying again. After a ruthless 3-0 win over Everton, Spurs are back in top form. But with Newcastle up next, rotation and fitness could decide everything. Let's break down Frank's winning formula and his big team update. Thomas Frank has got Tottenham firing again as his side bounced back from the Champions League draw at Monaco by wiping the floor with Everton at the Hill Dickinson Stadium. The balance act now for Frank is that he now needs to select a side that will compete with Newcastle at St James Park, and Eddie Howe's men are unlikely to be taking the Carabao Cup lightly, given they are the defending champions. Frank also issued an update on the fitness of defensive duo QT Romero and Destiny Udogie, who both missed Sunday's trip to Merseyside with adductor and knee issues respectively. Spurs man of the moment Mickey van der Ven has also played a huge amount of football this season, and one of the biggest talking points ahead of the trip to Tyneside is whether the Dutchman will be rested. Here is every word Frank said ahead of the fourth round tie in the North East. No, all good from the guys that played yesterday. Dom stepped forward, step by step. Cut on the pitch today, not a time frame. Destiny on the pitch as well today. 3 steps forward. Sometimes it's a relatively small sample. Hopefully at the end of the year, it's fantastic. Away and home. It's a team that's still finding each other. The way we're building, we have 14 games with 1 bad performance against Bournemouth, second half against Wolves, and second half against Monaco. In general, we're in this game because we love it. At Spurs, we do everything we can to win. We're trying to win every tournament we're playing in. Playing against a strong team, the holders, a difficult place to play, but we'll do everything to compete, win, and progress. Andreas is doing a top job. The players are really committed to it. We need to be good in every aspect of the game, but set pieces have created a third of all goals. So not to spend time on it, be super focused on details, then defending and attacking those is a major strength. I haven't seen every game in every league. My feeling is that there are more long throws in general. That's a clear example. Every manager wants to compete, and it's about finding the small margins. The top clubs are raising the bar, so that's probably the reason. You need to be good in all phases. In the first half yesterday, we were very good playing out from the back, and you need to be good in the middle of the pitch. A big part of it is being good at set pieces. He deserves praise. Every coach will love him. Great character and personality. He was good and calm on the ball. Some strong battles with Beto. From crosses and set pieces, he had a magnet head. He did well. Sometimes I tweak it a little bit. Having Kudus in the middle to link with Xavi, there were elements of good things. Very happy with Mickey. He's been brilliant for the club since he signed. He's taken his game up a level, he's still very good on the ball, and he added headed goals. He's a threat from set pieces. Character and leadership. We have a good contract for him, but definitely a player with a big future here. That's the challenge. It's 1 game, so there's more at stake. I changed 4 from Monaco to Everton, and 3 before that. Of course, there'll be rotation, playing every 3rd or 4th day. If you want to compete over 60 games, you can't play the same 11. So there's a fine balance. That's one of the beauties of being head coach. That's all part of the good fun. Thomas Frank has just delivered his verdict of Tottenham's sublime 3-0 win on the road at Everton. Spurs had to dig deep at times, but nobody could dispute that they were worthy winners, as they also showcased their quality from set pieces. Mickey van der Ven headed in from 2 corners before substitute Pape Matar Sarr added gloss to the scoreline just a few minutes from time. Very, very happy with that. I think we were all very solid performance, especially pleased with the first half. I think we were good in phase 1, good in phase 2. More passes, control of the game, more in phases. In general, the second half was a little bit more of a dogfight at times. Going here to Everton, which is against a very good team, well set up by David Moyes and a very good home crowd. They've been unbeaten here so far. To any ground in the Premier League, to win 3-0 away from home is a very good result. So, yeah, very happy. Happy with obviously the set pieces as well. What I would say the clean sheet mentality, that is a very good foundation to stand on. That gives you an ability to perform at a certain level where you want to always do a little bit more, but be really, how can you say, competitive, and especially away from home. And then I think we are, is it 3 years ago we played Champions League? Or 3 years ago? But it's still quite an inexperienced Champions League squad to go every third or fourth day. And one of the most difficult things with that is to be able to compete in both tournaments, and especially after an away trip in Champions League, and then go away in the Premier League again. So to keep the energy, the focus, the intensity, to be able to do that, I'm very pleased with the players, how they handled that to get the win today. Plus, we also did it after Boulogne, then travel to Leeds and win. So I think it shows a lot about that mentality. There's things we like to work on, but the most important thing is I agree. And I think we've maybe forgotten Kevin Danso. Maybe he was not as highlighted as the two others. But I think Kevin has done very well to step in big shoes to fill out after cut. But Mickey, man of the match, clearly defended well. 2 goals, not 2 clean sheets, 2 goals and good on the ball. And I think Vicario, man of the match in Monaco. But today I think his performance was more complete. Good with the feet, very good in the box, and 2 exceptional saves. Thanks for that question. I was looking forward to it. If you didn't mention that, I probably would have said something. In these types of games, it's clear what they bring to the team. I think it's very clear. I think both of them today were excellent. I think they were very good on the ball. I think they were excellent defensively, landed on the second ball when they needed to. I think we controlled the game more. I think the bounce passes and the bits and pieces to build up and control the game was very good. So in a time where we are building and going to the next level, I think they are extremely important. I agree that today, of course, we scored 2 goals, but it's equally important that we can keep the ball out of the net. And the team did very well, and I think Andreas and Sean, our set-piece managers, have done a top job with the team throughout from when we started to now. That's both a structure of how we want to do it, but also we know when there's a structure, but there's also the physicality, and then you need the desire. First and foremost, I think he's really growing and taking some big steps. I'm very pleased with him overall. I think he's taking more leadership. I think he's defending better and better, not only using his pace, but also more clever positions. I'm very happy with that. And then I said, actually at the beginning of the season, I said it's okay you score with your left foot and your right foot, but you need to score more goals with your head, your centre back. I'm back. And then we have worked with it, and that's a big praise to Mickey, but especially to Andreas and the way he, how can you say, attacked the ball. Also getting there where it hurts, I think, is key. Now, yeah, hopefully it will continue. I think normally it's very difficult to do that, and it's been very difficult, no doubt about that. But I think to have a foundation where we have a solid foundation. But of course, when you go away from home, you normally need to defend a little bit more, especially where we are. And I think how we defend high pressure, but especially the middle block, but also the box, I think is important. Set pieces, both boxes, can make a difference on a day like that. Then we're adding layers, and then the overall thing, as I said, is that mentality to want to run hard, and every team need to do that. I think it was pleasing to see his first 60 minutes. He's still building his physicality and sharpness. I'm pleased with what I saw, but it's the first steps, so there's more to come. I think in times I like some of the movement, the interactions with the front four, but that is an ongoing project or process. I think he found some good positions, and maybe the final top actions are still missing. But I think still there was good actions. He just needs to keep going, keep building and keep working on it. Yeah, maybe, but I think it's a big part. I think it's important to do it when we win. It's important to do it when we draw. It's important also to do it when we lose, because we're in it in good times and bad times. And of course, it's a very good time today. Very happy with a win, a difficult to win. But of course, as you say, the togetherness that is on and off the pitch, that is between players, staff, fans. The stronger that can be, the better it will be. I think we have a plan to play close to the goal, but it's sometimes difficult to hit it that precise all the time. But as long as it's in a very good area, close to goal, then there's more opportunities to potentially score. I think we are in the beginning of building something. I'm very happy with a lot of things. As I said, the defensive side of it, mentality, set pieces. But I think there's a bit we need to work on, especially offensively, to be more free-floating still. And for me, it's a long season ahead. I'm very happy going away from home after 2 away games in the Champions League. That's a big part of it. But to continue performing day in, day out is a challenge, which we embrace and want to do. That, I think, is probably a few teams that are ahead of us. I think it's fair to say that. I'm only thinking one game at a time, and let's see where we are in April. in, Tottenham boss Thomas Frank has not long finished his press conference, in which he previewed Spurs' upcoming Premier League trip to Merseyside to face Everton. The Dane has reflected on the midweek Champions League draw with Monaco, whilst also looking ahead to the clash with the Toffees. There was a key update on the fitness of Christian Romero and Destiny Udogie, plus further details regarding team news. Below is the full transcript featuring every word Frank said from Hotspur Way. Yes, Cutie just walked out on the grass running. Some of the performance guys, so positive, progressing, no time frame. But I don't expect it to be a longer one. Destiny is not on the grass yet, but still progressing, so again, not a longer one. With Dominic, it's positive, he's taking steps in the right direction every day, was on the grass again today on his own, but has now a sustainable amount of pitch sessions in him on his own, so it's progressing forward. Every head coach, manager wants all the players fit, and we get that. Then we complain about the squad being too big, and then you need to disappoint players, but anyway, I rather want that, of course. It is what it is, you're right. I very, very rarely say anything about injuries because it is what it is. I need to deal with it, and it's my job to put the best possible available team on the pitch and get it hopefully clicking. Of course, there's some of these, especially Kulusevski and Maddison, proven players that prove in this club for goals and assists and creating things, so they would have been lovely to be able to use, but I think we have some very talented players who are growing. Wilson, Xavi, I think Mo has been very good for us as well, and I think Richie had a good start to the season. He tried to get up to pace, but the reality is that we are working very hard on getting the flow with the front four, and hopefully it will be better, bit by bit. I think it's fair to say, I can't remember the amount of games we played, but there have definitely been some good games and good spells where we have been looking very good, so we'll keep working on it. I'm learning every day about the team and the players, individuals. I see a very willing group to want to work hard, to perform, to do the best for the team in this wonderful club. I learnt after a very competitive performance against Villa. I think, okay, there's something here. Very interesting, I know we lost, but the performance, that's what I need to look at all the time. Then I also learnt Wednesday night against Monaco as 2 examples. So it's every day, and you can say it in a way, we are then whatever, I can't remember the number of weeks we are down the line, but then I'll know more. But my focus right now is on Everton. He's definitely getting closer. Now is the first time he's had a sustained block of training, and also some minutes. I think it's also fair to say he's not 100% physically ready to be bombarding 90 minutes again and again, but he's in a place where he can be used, and that's good news. Everton are a very competitive team. There are more players than just Grealish. Beto has been good up front, and Undayai has been very good. I think Dewsbury Hall has been good, after maybe not being on top at Chelsea. And then a good colleague and friend of mine, David Moyes, is in charge, and his team as a whole is very, very competitive. He's a manager that I admire, and a person I respect massively in the game. And then, of course, Grealish, I think it's also down to, of course, always the player, but also part of the coaching staff. The manager and Moyes have got Grealish to flourish again. He is their main creator, no doubt about that. He's so dangerous, he can create something out of nothing in every game. So, of course, we need to be aware of him. I think this season I've seen a crazy peak in it. Personally, I like it. I think it's whatever you can do to create advantages in your team, or create an extra weapon, extra threat. I think you need to look into it. I know there can be styles, and what you believe in, and all that. I'm just thinking, how can I make sure that we hopefully maximise the opportunities to try to score a goal? To score a goal is the most difficult thing to do in football. And can you give yourself one more weapon? Why not?